The story kicks off with two marine biology students, Harry and Beth, who are not just classmates, they're also a couple, completely smitten with each other. For their getaway, they pick a far-off coral island near Australia's Great Barrier Reef, completely isolated and picture-perfect. A man drops them off with their gear and says he'll be back in 10 days to collect them. Before leaving, he reminds them, if you need to return earlier, just call me on the satellite phone. Then he waves goodbye and heads off. Harry and Beth chose this remote island so they could spend time with nature and deepen their bond. No people, no distractions. They're the only ones there, which means total freedom and privacy. And the place? Absolutely breathtaking. Sparkling blue waters, soft white sand, and thick green forests. It feels like they've stepped right into paradise. They start exploring the island right away, soaking in every beautiful sight. Beth captures the stunning views on her camera, excited to document their private paradise. The two then dive into the ocean, laughing, splashing, and enjoying each other's company. Later, they stretch out on the warm sand, get a little cozy, and eventually drift off to sleep right there under the open sky. But a few hours later, they wake up to a chilling surprise: small footprints in the sand, leading straight into the forest. Shocked and confused, they stare at the prints. No one else is supposed to be here. Who could they belong to? Nervous but curious, they follow the trail, only to watch it vanish deep in the woods with no sign of where it ends. Still shaken, they brush it off and decide to pitch their tent before nightfall. Later that evening, Harry heads into the forest to gather firewood. As he walks, he suddenly spots some bones on the ground. He can't tell if they're human or animal, but something feels off. Out of nowhere, strange noises echo around him, like someone's watching from the shadows. Harry sees nothing, but the feeling lingers. Shaken, he grabs the wood and rushes back to Beth. They make dinner, chat a little, and finally tuck themselves into the tent for the night. But peace doesn't last long. In the middle of the night, they're both jolted awake by eerie sounds outside. Harry grabs a torch and steps out to check. Nothing. Beth says it must be the wind rustling the trees. Still uneasy, they try to go back to sleep. The next morning, something creepy greets them. Their clothes are hanging from the trees in a strange, unsettling way. Neither Harry nor Beth can figure out how that even happened. Harry shrugs and guesses, maybe it was some monkeys? But Beth quickly points out, we haven't seen a single monkey since we got here. Harry tries to lighten the mood, joking that maybe some mischievous kid is playing pranks. Still, they search the forest for signs of anyone, but it's completely empty. Later, they head down to the ocean to catch some fish. Harry is just about to step on one when Beth suddenly yells and pulls him back. She warns him, that's a stonefish. One sting and you could die in less than 30 minutes. Shocked and grateful, Harry steps away carefully. They manage to catch a few fish and return to their tent. But just then, a sound breaks the calm. Someone is crying deep inside the forest. Curious and alarmed, they follow the voice and stumble upon an old abandoned hut. They knock, but no one answers. Inside, everything's broken: the furniture, the bed, and there's a creepy drawing on the wall showing a girl stabbing a man with a spear. Around it are 7 weird symbols. Outside, Beth calls Harry over. She's found a grave marked with a wooden cross. On it, just one name is carved: Coral. They leave the hut, not thinking much of it at first. Later that evening, they decide to watch the videos they had recorded so far. Everything looks normal until one chilling clip shows up. Their camera had somehow been used to film them while they were asleep inside the tent. Panic hits them like a wave. Someone else is definitely on the island. Beth freaks out and wants to leave right away, but Harry tries to calm her down. He says maybe it's just a sick prank, and they shouldn't let it ruin their trip. Just as they begin to relax again, a loud noise startles them: gunshots. They spot 2 fishermen on a nearby boat, firing into the water, trying to catch some huge fish. But when the fishermen notice Harry and Beth watching from the shore, they suddenly panic and speed away. That strange reaction makes the couple uneasy. If these men could come so close, maybe they weren't alone after all. Later that night, the sound of someone crying returns, coming from near the old hut again. Even though he's scared, Harry tells Beth to stay put while he goes to check it out with a torch. As he's about to open the hut door, Beth creeps up behind him and startles him. Right then, they notice something creepy: red coral now sits on the grave they saw earlier. It feels like a warning, but they try to brush it off and decide to sleep outside. near their tent. The next morning, something else freaks them out. Sea cucumbers are strung all around the campsite. Beth rushes to grab the satellite phone to call for help, but it's gone, vanished. Harry searches everywhere, but they both come up empty. Now it's real, there's no way to call for help. They're completely stranded. Suddenly, eerie music drifts from the forest, pulling them in. They track it down and find the same two Greek fishermen sitting there, calmly playing. Convinced these men stole their satellite phone, Beth and Harry demand it back, but the fishermen don't understand a word of their language. Frustrated, Harry shouts insults at them, his anger boiling over, offended and furious. The fishermen lash out, attacking Harry and harassing Beth. The couple barely escapes into the thick forest. While the fishermen return to their boat, Harry and Beth desperately search through their belongings, but the phone is nowhere to be found. In a last-ditch effort, Harry swims to their boat to look for it himself. Suddenly, one fisherman catches him and knocks him out cold. Later that night, Harry and Beth are tied to trees, their mouths gagged tight. The fishermen drink and mock them cruelly. One of the men starts to get inappropriate with Beth, while the other watches silently. Suddenly, strange noises echo from the forest, forcing the fishermen to leave and investigate. Moments later, gunshots and screams pierce the night. Harry somehow manages to free himself and untie Beth. They quickly hide, watching in horror as one fisherman drags his badly injured friend through the shadows. Terrified, the men rush back to their boat and flee the island. The next morning, Beth follows a trail of blood leading right to the old hut. Inside, she finds a diary and soon, Harry joins her. Beth begins to read aloud. Back in the 1920s, a girl named Coral worked here gathering sea cucumbers. She was horribly abused by 7 men for days on end, and the trauma eventually took her life. They buried her near the hut, and no one came to her rescue. Now, her angry spirit haunts the island. After death, she hunted down and killed all 7 men. Still restless, Coral grew to hate every man who sets foot on this island, and she kills them without mercy. Beth believes every word of the story, but Harry just laughs it off, calling it a made-up ghost tale. Moved by the legend, Beth decorates Coral's grave with shells and starts to feel a strange presence around her. That night, Beth confides in Harry, saying, "If I were Coral, I'd have done the same." But Harry stays skeptical, asking, "If Coral kills all men, then why am I still alive?" Later that night, while they're asleep, Beth suddenly wakes up crying. Harry comforts her quietly. The next day, as Harry collects firewood, he hears a ringtone coming from the hut. Inside, he finds their satellite phone and it begins ringing. Harry answers the phone and hears the same chilling voices Coral once suffered during her abuse. Terrified, he throws the phone away. Suddenly, eerie laughter fills the air and Coral appears. Frozen in terror, Harry watches helplessly as she stabs him to death and hangs his body near her grave. Beth searches desperately for Harry all through the night. She checks the hut but finds nothing. As she steps outside, she sees Harry's lifeless body hanging from a tree, blood dripping onto Coral's grave. Overwhelmed by horror, Beth collapses. The next morning, she wakes to find Harry's body gone. In its place is a freshly dug grave. She realizes Coral has buried him. In despair, Beth lights a signal fire, praying someone will see it. Suddenly, she spots Coral standing on a rock in the sea. Beth runs toward her but steps on a stonefish. Venom floods her veins. In agonizing pain, she stumbles back to shore, knowing she has less than 30 minutes to live. As she lies dying, memories of Harry flood her mind. 10 days later, the man returns to collect them but finds no one. Searching the island, he enters the hut and picks up the diary. Suddenly, Beth, now a ghost, appears behind him and kills him. The final shot reveals Beth's grave right next to Coral's. It's obvious now Beth has become a spirit too. Together, these two vengeful ghosts will punish any man who dares set foot on this island again. So, what do you think? Now that Beth is a spirit, will any man ever survive this island? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thrilling story explainer videos. Until next time, take care and goodbye.